Imagine starting your day with a warm, comforting bowl of oatmeal. It's your go-to breakfast, the one you've trusted for years to keep you healthy, energized, and ready to take on the morning. But what if I told you that the very toppings you're stirring into that bowl, those little extras you think are harmless, could be quietly working against your body? For those of us over 50, our bodies don't bounce back like they used to. A small scoop of sugar or a sprinkle of something healthy can throw off your blood sugar, stress your heart, or even burden your liver in ways you'd never suspect. Let me share a story. Meet Ellen, a 64-year-old retired teacher from Ohio. Every morning she'd make her oatmeal with a handful of dried fruit and a drizzle of flavored syrup, thinking she was doing her body a favor. But by 10 a.m., she was exhausted, her joints ached, and she couldn't figure out why her energy kept crashing. It wasn't until her doctor pointed out her breakfast choices that she realized those healthy toppings were the culprits. In the next 30 minutes, we're rediving deep into 9 common mistakes people over 50 make when topping their oatmeal, and why these choices could be harming your heart, liver, brain, and even your sleep. You'll learn exactly which ingredients to avoid, backed by science and real-life stories like Ellen's. More importantly, we'll share simple, delicious swaps to keep your oatmeal the nourishing meal it's meant to be. Whether you're worried about staying active for your grandkids, keeping your blood pressure in check, or just feeling your best every day, this video will give you practical tools to make your breakfast work for you, not against you. Before we dive in, let me ask you this. What's one topping you always add to your oatmeal? Drop it in the comments with the number 1, and let's see if it's on our list. Stick with us, because by the end, you'll not only know what to skip, but also how to build a bowl of oatmeal that loves your body back. Ready to make your mornings healthier? Let's get started. Let's talk about the first big mistake people over 50 often make with their oatmeal: adding brown sugar. It's that golden, slightly caramel-like sweetener we sprinkle on, thinking it's somehow better than white sugar. But here is the truth. It is a sweet trap that can send your blood sugar soaring and leave your body struggling, especially as we age. Stick with me, because you might be surprised at how much damage just 1 spoonful can do and how easy it is to fix. Let me take you to a small town in Michigan where John, a 58-year-old retired mechanic, starts every morning with a bowl of oatmeal. He's been doing it for years, proud of his healthy breakfast, but he always adds a generous scoop of brown sugar to make it taste just right. By 10 a.m., John's energy crashes. He feels foggy, a little irritable, and strangest of all, hungry again even though he just ate. He chalked it up to getting older, but when he mentioned it to his doctor during a checkup, the answer was clear: that brown sugar was setting off a chain reaction in his body. Here's why brown sugar is such a problem, especially after 50. When you scoop it into your oatmeal, your body processes it just like regular white sugar. It hits your bloodstream fast, causing a sharp spike in blood sugar. For younger folks, the body might handle this with ease, but as we age, our pancreas produces less insulin, and our cells become less responsive to it. That means those sugar spikes don't just come and go, they linger, stressing your system. Over time, this can increase your risk of type 2 diabetes, pack on belly fat, and even cause inflammation that damages your blood vessels. To put it in perspective, 1 tablespoon of brown sugar, about 12 grams of sugar, has the same blood sugar impact as a small can of soda. Would you drink a soda with your oatmeal every morning? Probably not, but that's what's happening inside your body. There's more. Those sugar spikes don't just affect your body, they mess with your brain too. Sugar triggers a rush of dopamine, the feel-good chemical, which is why that sweet taste feels so satisfying. But when it wears off, you're left with a dip that makes you crave more sweets later in the day. For John, this meant reaching for cookies by noon, even though he swore he wasn't a sweets person. And if you're eating oatmeal close to bedtime, that sugar can disrupt your sleep by throwing off melatonin, the hormone that helps you rest. For those of us over 50, good sleep is already hard enough to come by. Why make it harder? Johnny S.'s story took a turn when his doctor suggested a simple swap: ditch the brown sugar and try sliced bananas with a pinch of cinnamon. At first, John was skeptical. Would it even taste good? But after a week, he noticed a difference. His mornings felt clearer, his energy lasted longer, and he didn't need that mid-morning snack anymore. I didn't realize how much that 1 spoonful was dragging me down, he told me, shaking his head. It was like my breakfast was working against me. So, what's the better choice? Instead of brown sugar, try natural sweeteners that work with your body. Half a banana adds gentle sweetness plus potassium to support your heart. A sprinkle of cinnamon not only tastes warm and cozy, but also helps stabilize blood sugar. If you want a little extra flair, a drop of pure vanilla extract can make your oatmeal feel like a treat without sending your system into overdrive. These options don't just taste good, they give your body nutrients, not stress. Here is a common mistake to avoid, thinking just a little brown sugar is fine. Even a small amount can trigger those spikes and crashes, especially if you're eating oatmeal every day. Over time, those small scoops add up to big problems. Another tip: if you're used to sweet oatmeal, start by cutting the sugar in half for a few days, then switch to fruit. Your taste buds will adjust faster than you think. The lesson here: sweet doesn't have to mean sabotage. Your breakfast should lift you up, not pull you down. By choosing toppings that love your body back, you're setting the stage for better energy, sharper focus, and even a happier mood. All from a simple change in your morning bowl. Before we move on, drop a number 2 in the comments if you've been adding brown sugar to your oatmeal. Have you noticed it affects your energy? Share your story. I'd love to hear it. Up next, we're tackling another sneaky ingredient that seems like a smart choice, but could be doing more harm than good: artificial sweeteners. You won't believe how they trick your body. Stay with us. Now let's move to our next big mistake: artificial sweeteners. Those little pink or yellow packets you might be stirring into your oatmeal seem like a smart choice. 0 calories, no sugar, perfect for keeping your blood sugar in check, right? But here is the catch. These so-called healthy sweeteners can quietly stress your body in ways that might surprise you, especially after 50. They're not the harmless fix they're marketed to be, and today we're diving into why they could be doing more harm than good. Stay with me, because what you learn here could change how you sweeten your mornings. Picture Linda, a 65-year-old grandmother from Texas who loves her oatmeal. She's been managing pre-diabetes for years, so she switched to artificial sweeteners like sucralose to keep her breakfast safe. She'd sprinkle a packet into her bowl, thinking she was making a healthy choice. But every afternoon, Linda felt bloated, sluggish, and oddly enough, craved sweets even more. She couldn't understand why her energy was so inconsistent despite her careful diet. It wasn't tea until she visited a nutritionist that she learned the truth. Those 0-calorie packets were tricking her body and causing more problems than they solved. Here's what's going on. Artificial sweeteners, like sucralose, aspartame, or saccharin, promise sweetness without calories, but they confuse your body. When you taste something sweet, your brain expects calories and energy to follow. With artificial sweeteners, that energy never comes, leaving your metabolism in a state of confusion. Studies show this mismatch can mess with your insulin response, making your body less efficient at handling sugar over time. For those of us over 50, where insulin sensitivity is already declining, this can make it harder to control blood sugar and even lead to weight gain, especially around the belly. One study found that regular use of artificial sweeteners can increase cravings for sugary foods later in the day, exactly what Linda was experiencing with her afternoon cookie binges. But it's not just about blood sugar. These sweeteners also put extra stress on your liver and gut. Your liver has to filter out these synthetic compounds, and after decades of processing medications, foods, and environmental toxins, it's already working hard. Adding a daily dose of artificial sweeteners can contribute to what doctors call liver load, leading to fatigue, poor digestion, or even elevated liver enzymes over time. Then there's your gut health. Artificial sweeteners can disrupt the balance of good bacteria in your digestive system, which is crucial for everything from nutrient absorption to mood regulation. For older adults, a healthy gut is key to fighting inflammation, which is linked to joint pain, brain fog, and even memory issues. In fact, some research suggests that gut imbalances from artificial sweeteners might contribute to cognitive decline, something none of us want as we age. Linda S., nutritionist, suggested a simple change. Swap the artificial sweetener for a tiny drizzle of raw honey, just half a teaspoon or a sprinkle of cinnamon. At first, Linda was hesitant. She loved the intense sweetness of those packets. But after a week of using cinnamon and a few slices of fresh apple, she noticed her bloating eased, her cravings faded, and her afternoons felt lighter. "I thought I was helping my diabetes," she told me, "but those packets were making everything worse. Now I actually enjoy my oatmeal more." So what's a better way to sweeten your oatmeal? Try natural options that nourish your body. A pinch of cinnamon not only adds a warm, sweet flavor, but also helps stabilize blood sugar. A small amount of raw honey offers antioxidants and a gentle sweetness without overwhelming your system. If you want a little extra zing, a drop of almond extract can make your oatmeal feel like a dessert without any of the guilt. These choices work with your body, not against it. A common mistake is thinking artificial sweeteners are a must for managing weight or diabetes. The truth is, they often make things harder by increasing cravings and stressing your organs. If you're used to that super sweet taste, try cutting the sweetener amount in half for a few days, then switch to natural options. Your taste buds will adjust, and your body will thank you. The lesson here is simple. Your body deserves real nourishment, not synthetic tricks. After 50, every choice you make in the kitchen can either support your health or add unnecessary stress. By skipping artificial sweeteners, you're giving your liver, gut, and brain a break, and setting yourself up for clearer days and better energy. Have you been using artificial sweeteners in your oatmeal? Drop a number 3 in the comments and let me know if you've noticed any changes in how you feel. I'd love to hear your story. Next up, we're re-diving into another ingredient that seems wholesome but could be overloading your liver: dried fruits. You won't believe how much sugar is hiding in those tiny pieces. Stay tuned. Let's move on to our next big mistake: dried fruits. Those little nuggets of raisins, cranberries, or apricots you sprinkle into your oatmeal might seem like a wholesome, natural choice. After all, they're fruit, right? But here's the surprising truth. Dried fruits can act like a hidden sugar bomb, overloading your liver and causing problems you'd never expect, especially after 50. Stick with me, because what you learn about these tiny treats could save your liver a lot of trouble and keep your mornings feeling light and energized. Let me take you to a cozy kitchen in Colorado, where Mary, a 60-year-old librarian, starts her day with a bowl of oatmeal. She's always been health conscious, so she adds a handful of dried cranberries to her breakfast, thinking she's boosting her fiber and antioxidants. But by mid-morning, Mary often felt bloated, heavy, and sometimes even a little queasy. She brushed it off as just aging. But when her annual checkup showed slightly elevated liver enzymes, her doctor asked about her diet. The culprit? Those dried cranberries were packing way more sugar than she realized, and her liver was paying the price. Here's why dried fruits can be such a problem. When fruit is dried, all the water is removed, leaving behind a concentrated dose of sugar, mostly fructose. Unlike glucose, which your muscles and brain can use for energy, fructose goes straight to your liver for processing. For younger folks, the liver might handle this fine, but after 50, our livers are already working harder to filter medications, toxins, and years of dietary wear and tear. A small handful of dried cranberries, say a quarter cup, can deliver over 20 grams of sugar, often mixed with extra syrup to keep them soft and sweet. That's about the same as eating a candy bar, but without the warning bells of a wrapper. Over time, this fructose overload can contribute to fatty liver disease, a growing concern for older adults, even those who don't drink alcohol. In fact, studies show that excessive fructose is linked to liver fat buildup in nearly 30% of people over 50, even if they're eating healthy. There's another issue Mary didn't expect: dental health. Dried fruits are sticky and packed with sugar, which clings to your teeth and feeds harmful bacteria. For those of us over 50, when gums may be receding and teeth are more prone to decay, this can lead to cavities or gum issues that are costly and painful to fix. Mary noticed her dentist appointments were getting more frequent, and she couldn't figure out why until she connected the dots to her daily dried fruit habit. When Mary's doctor suggested swapping dried cranberries for fresh blueberries, she was hesitant. She loved the chewy texture. But after a week of fresh berries, her bloating disappeared, her energy felt steadier, and her next blood test showed her liver enzymes improving. "I thought I was doing something good for myself," she told me, "but those little cranberries were like sneaking candy into my breakfast." So what's a better choice? Fresh fruits are your liver's best friend. A handful of blueberries or sliced strawberries adds natural sweetness, plus water and fiber that slow sugar absorption and ease the liver's workload. If you love apples, a few thin slices with a sprinkle of cinnamon give you that satisfying crunch without the sugar overload. These options are not only gentler on your body, but also budget-friendly, especially if you buy what's in season at your local grocery store. Here's a common mistake to avoid: thinking all fruit is created equal. Dried fruits might come from nature, but their concentrated sugar makes them more like a dessert than a health food. Another tip: if you're worried about cost, frozen berries are just as nutritious as fresh and often cheaper, perfect for keeping your oatmeal delicious without breaking the bank. The lesson here is simple. Your liver has been working hard for you your whole life, and after 50, it deserves a break. By choosing fresh fruits over dried, you're not just protecting your liver, you're also caring for your teeth and keeping your energy steady for the things that matter, like morning walks or playing with your grandkids. Have you been adding dried fruits to your oatmeal? Drop a number 4 in the comments and share which ones you use. I'd love to know. Up next, we're retackling a convenient breakfast choice that seems harmless but could be sneaking sodium into your diet: flavored oatmeal packets. You won't believe what's hiding in those little pouches. Stay with us. We're now at mistake number 5, flavored oatmeal packets. You know those little pouches of apple cinnamon or maple brown sugar oatmeal that promise a quick, healthy breakfast in just a minute? They seem like a lifesaver, especially on busy mornings or when you're living alone and want something simple. But here's the hidden truth. These convenient packets are often loaded with sodium and additives that can quietly harm your health, especially after 50. Stick with me, because what's hiding in those pouches might shock you, and I'll show you how to make your oatmeal just as easy without the risks. Let's step into the kitchen of Tom, a 67-year-old widower from Florida. After his wife passed, Tom started relying on flavored oatmeal packets for breakfast. They were quick, tasty, and the box said whole grain and heart healthy, so he felt good about his choice. But over time, he noticed his ankles swelling by midday, and his blood pressure readings were creeping up despite taking his meds. He couldn't figure out why until his daughter, a nurse, looked at the packet's label. "Dad," she said, "this isn't as healthy as you think." Those little pouches were packing a surprising punch of sodium and additives that were stressing Tom's body more than he realized. Here's why flavored oatmeal packets can be a problem. Each packet can contain 200 to 300 milligrams of sodium, sometimes more if you add salted butter or milk. That might not sound like much, but if you're eating one every day, it adds up fast, especially when you factor in sodium from other foods like bread, soups, or snacks. For those of us over 50, high sodium is a big deal. Our kidneys don't filter as efficiently as they used to, and excess sodium can raise blood pressure, strain the heart, and cause fluid retention, like the swelling Tom felt in his ankles. High blood pressure is a leading risk for heart disease, which affects over 60% of Americans over 50, according to the CDC. Those heart-healthy claims on the box, they're often just clever marketing. It's not just sodium. Flavored packets rely on artificial flavoring, stabilizers, and sometimes even added sugars to mimic the taste of real apples or maple syrup. These synthetic additives don't nourish your body. They force your liver and kidneys to work harder to filter them out. After 50, when your organs are already managing medications or age-related wear, this extra load can lead to fatigue, bloating, or even long-term stress on your system. Plus, those artificial flavors can trick your taste buds into craving more processed foods, making it harder to enjoy the natural taste of whole foods. When Tom's daughter suggested switching to plain rolled oats, he was worried it'd be too bland or take too much time. But she showed him a simple trick. Cook a batch of plain oats on Sunday, store it in the fridge, and reheat a portion each morning with fresh apple slices and a pinch of cinnamon. It took barely any extra effort, and within 2 weeks Tom's swelling went down, his blood pressure stabilized, and he felt lighter after breakfast. "I thought those packets were my easy fix," he told me, smiling. "Turns out I was making things harder on myself." So what's the better way? Stick with plain rolled or steel-cut oats. They're just as quick to cook and give you full control over what goes in. Add your own toppings, like a few slices of fresh apple for sweetness and crunch, or a sprinkle of cinnamon for that cozy flavor. If you're short on time, buy oats in bulk and prep a week's worth in advance. It's just as convenient, way cheaper, and kinder to your heart and kidneys. A common mistake is trusting the healthy labels on these packets without checking the fine print. Always flip to the nutrition label and look for sodium and ingredients you can't pronounce. Another tip: if you're new to plain oats, start by mixing half a flavored packet with plain oats for a few days to ease the transition, then go fully natural. Your body and your taste buds will adjust. The lesson here? Convenience shouldn't come at the cost of your health. After 50, your heart and kidneys deserve meals that support them, not stress them. A simple bowl of plain oats with real ingredients can make your mornings easier and your days stronger, so you can keep up with the things you love, whether it's gardening, golf, or just feeling your best. Have you been using flavored oatmeal packets? Drop a number 5 in the comments and let me know which flavor you love. I'm curious. Up next, we're diving into another ingredient that seems like a harmless way to make your oatmeal creamy, but could be hurting your heart: non-dairy creamers. You won't believe what's hiding in those powders. Stay with us. We're now at mistake number 6, non-dairy creamers. You know that powdered or liquid stuff you might stir into your oatmeal to make it rich and creamy, especially if you're avoiding dairy? It seems like a harmless way to add a little comfort to your breakfast, particularly if you're lactose intolerant or just trying to cut back on milk. But here is the eye-opening truth. Non-dairy creamers are often packed with ingredients that can quietly harm your heart and overall health, especially after 50. Stick with me, because what's hiding in those creamy additives might make you rethink your morning routine. Let's visit Barbara, a 70-year-old retiree from Oregon who loves her morning oatmeal. After being diagnosed with lactose intolerance a few years ago, she started using a popular non-dairy creamer to give her oats that smooth, velvety texture she craved. The label said cholesterol-free, so she thought she was making a heart-smart choice. But over time, Barbara noticed her cholesterol levels creeping up, and she was feeling more tired than usual, with occasional joint aches that she couldn't explain. During a routine checkup, her doctor took a close look at her diet and pointed to the creamer. "Barbara," he said, "this stuff is doing more harm than good." That little scoop of powder was loading her body with hidden risks. Here's why non-dairy creamers are such a problem. Most of them, whether powdered or liquid, contain hydrogenated or partially hydrogenated oils, which are sources of trans fats. These fats are notorious for raising your LDL cholesterol, the bad kind, while lowering HDL, the good cholesterol that protects your heart. Even products labeled trans fat-free can contain small amounts if the serving size is tiny, and those small amounts add up when you use creamer every day. For those of us over 50, when cardiovascular risks are already higher, this is a dangerous combination. The American Heart Association warns that trans fats increase the risk of heart disease, which is the leading cause of death for older adults in the US, affecting over 80% of people over 50 to some degree. But that's not all. Non-dairy creamers are also loaded with artificial flavors, thickeners and emulsifiers, chemicals that give them that creamy texture but offer no nutritional value. These additives force your liver and kidneys to work harder to filter them out, and after 50, our organs are already managing years of medications, processed foods, and age-related wear. This extra filtering job can lead to fatigue, digestive discomfort, or even chronic inflammation, which is linked to everything from joint pain to cognitive decline. Emerging research even suggests that chronic inflammation from processed additives might contribute to brain fog or memory issues, which is a big concern for anyone wanting to stay sharp as they age. When Barbara's doctor suggested swapping her creamer for a splash of unsweetened almond milk, she was skeptical. She loved that rich, creamy taste. But she gave it a try, using a small amount of almond milk and a spoonful of plain Greek yogurt for extra creaminess. Within a month, her energy levels improved, her joint aches eased, and her next cholesterol test showed better numbers. "I thought I was being heart smart," she told me, laughing softly. "Turns out I was giving my heart one more thing to worry about." So what's a better choice? Go for natural, minimally processed options. Unsweetened almond milk or oat milk adds creaminess without the harmful fats or additives. If you tolerate dairy, a small splash of organic cream or a spoonful of plain Greek yogurt can give you that rich texture plus a boost of protein and probiotics. These choices nourish your body instead of stressing it, and they're easy to find at any grocery store. A common mistake is assuming non-dairy creamers are a healthy alternative to milk, especially if you see cholesterol-free on the label. Always check the ingredients list for terms like hydrogenated oil or shikes mono and diglycerides. Those are red flags. Another tip: if you're used to the intense creaminess of these products, start by mixing a little almond milk with your creamer for a few days to ease the transition. You'll be surprised how quickly you adjust. The lesson here is clear. Your heart deserves real clean ingredients, especially after 50. A small change in your oatmeal routine can reduce the strain on your body and help you feel lighter, stronger, and ready for the day, whether you're heading out for a walk or just enjoying a quiet morning with your coffee. Have you been using non-dairy creamers in your oatmeal? Drop a number 6 in the comments and share what kind you use. I'd love to hear. Up next, we're diving into a topping that sounds wholesome, but could be loading your oatmeal with hidden sugars and oils: store-bought granola. You won't believe how much it's sneaking into your breakfast. Stay tuned. We've reached mistake number 7, store-bought granola. That crunchy, nutty topping you sprinkle on your oatmeal feels like the perfect way to add texture and a touch of wholesome goodness. It's marketed as natural, heart-healthy, and full of whole grains, so it must be good for you, right? But here is the surprising reality. Most store-bought granola is a sneaky trap loaded with sugar and oils that can wreak havoc on your body, especially after 50. Stay with me, because what Ace has hiding in that healthy crunch might make you rethink your breakfast, and I'll show you how to get that satisfying texture without the harm. Let's step into the home of Robert, a 64-year-old grandfather from Wisconsin. Robert loves his morning oatmeal, and he'd always top it with a generous handful of store-bought granola for that perfect crunch. The package boasted low fat and whole grain, so he felt confident he was making a smart choice. But over time, he started feeling stiff in his joints, especially his knees, and his afternoon energy dips were getting worse. He even noticed his waistline creeping up, despite watching his diet. When he brought this up at his annual physical, his doctor asked about his breakfast. After checking the granola's label, Robert was stunned to learn it was packing more sugar and fat than a chocolate chip cookie. Here's why store-bought granola can be such a problem. To get that golden, crispy texture, manufacturers often bake oats in sugar syrups, like honey, brown rice syrup, or cane sugar, and coat them with refined oils, such as canola or palm oil. These oils are sometimes partially hydrogenated, meaning they contain small amounts of trans fats that promote inflammation. For those of us over 50, inflammation is a big deal. It's linked to joint pain, heart disease, and fatigue, all of which become more common as we age. A single quarter-cup serving of granola can contain 10 to 15 grams of sugar and hundreds of calories, often more than you'd get from a dessert. To put it in perspective, that handful Robert was adding to his oatmeal was like eating half a candy bar in terms of sugar and fat. There's another issue: portion size. The nutrition label might list a tiny serving, say 2 tablespoons, but most of us pour way more than that, not realizing we're doubling or tripling the sugar and calories. For older adults, managing pre-diabetes, arthritis, or extra weight, these hidden hits can worsen blood sugar spikes, joint stiffness, and belly fat. Plus, the refined oils in granola can contribute to chronic inflammation, which studies link to a higher risk of heart disease, already a concern for over 80% of Americans over 50, according to the American Heart Association. When Robert's doctor suggested swapping granola for plain toasted nuts, he wasn't sure he'd like it. Granola was his favorite part of breakfast, but he tried a mix of chopped walnuts and pumpkin seeds, lightly toasted at home with a pinch of cinnamon. Within weeks, his joint pain eased, his blood sugar readings were more stable, and those afternoon slumps disappeared. "I thought I was eating healthy," he told me, chuckling, "but that granola was like sprinkling dessert on my oats." So what's a better way to add crunch? Go for plain unsalted nuts or seeds, like walnuts, almonds, or pumpkin seeds, which offer healthy fats, fiber, and nutrients without the sugar overload. If you want that granola-like vibe, try making your own at home. Mix rolled oats with a tiny bit of maple syrup and olive oil, then bake until golden. It's simple, cheap, and lets you control the ingredients. You can even add a sprinkle of unsweetened coconut flakes for extra flavor. A common mistake is trusting the healthy claims on granola packages without checking the label. Look for added sugars or oils in the ingredients list. Words like syrup or hydrogenated are warning signs. Another tip, measure your toppings with a tablespoon for a few days to get a sense of portion size. It's eye-opening how little you need for that satisfying crunch. The lesson here is simple. Your body deserves toppings that add nourishment, not stress. After 50, every bite counts, and choosing real, whole ingredients can help you move easier, feel stronger, and enjoy your days. Whether you're chasing grandkids or tending your garden. Have you been adding store-bought granola to your oatmeal? Drop a number 7 in the comments and share your favorite kind. I'd love to hear. Up next, we're re-tackling a topping that seems like a fitness buff's dream, but could be straining your kidneys. Protein powders. You won't believe what's hiding in those scoops. Stay tuned. We're now at mistake number 8, protein powders. You've probably seen those shiny tubs at the store, or read articles touting protein as the key to staying strong and active as you age. So, stirring a scoop into your oatmeal might feel like a smart way to boost muscle health, especially after 50. But here is the surprising truth. Many protein powders are overhyped and loaded with additives that can strain your kidneys and disrupt your body, particularly as we get older. Stick with me, because understanding what S in that scoop could save you from unnecessary health risks. And I'll show you how to get the protein you need without the hype. Let's meet Diane, a 69-year-old yoga enthusiast from California. Diane wanted to stay active and keep her muscles strong, so she started adding a scoop of vanilla protein powder to her morning oatmeal after reading a fitness magazine. The label promised muscle support and low sugar, so she thought it was a perfect fit for her healthy lifestyle. But a few months in, she started feeling bloated after breakfast, and her energy seemed to drag. During a routine checkup, her doctor noticed her kidney function tests were slightly off. When Diane mentioned her protein powder habit, her doctor raised an eyebrow. That might be part of the problem, she said. Those powders were loading Diane's body with more than just protein. Here's why protein powders can be an issue, especially after 50. Most commercial powders aren't just protein, they're packed with artificial sweeteners, thickeners, preservatives, and synthetic flavorings. These additives force your kidneys and liver to work harder to filter them out. And after decades of processing medications, foods, and environmental toxins, your organs don't need the extra stress. For older adults, kidney function naturally declines with age, even without a diagnosed condition. Adding a daily scoop of processed powder can contribute to what doctors call renal stress, leading to symptoms like fatigue, bloating, or even fluid retention. In some cases, it can quietly worsen kidney function over time, and the scary part is, you might not notice until it's advanced. Then there's the protein itself. It is true that protein is important for maintaining muscle as we age. Experts recommend about 0.8 grams per kilogram of body weight daily, so a 150-pound person needs around 55 grams. But here's the catch. You don't need a powder to get there. A couple of eggs, a serving of Greek yogurt, or a handful of nuts can easily meet your needs. Many protein powders deliver far more protein than your body can use at once, and the excess gets broken down and filtered through your kidneys. For someone like Diane, who was also eating protein-rich meals later in the day, that scoop was overloading her system. Studies show that excessive protein intake can increase the risk of kidney strain in older adults, especially if you're already on medications like blood pressure pills. When Diane's doctor suggested swapping the powder for whole food sources, she was hesitant. She liked the convenience and the sweet vanilla taste, but she tried stirring a spoonful of plain Greek yogurt into her oatmeal, paired with a few sliced almonds for crunch. Within a couple of weeks, her bloating vanished, her energy steadied, and her next kidney test looked better. "I thought I needed that powder to stay strong," she told me, shaking her head, "but I feel so much better without it." So what's a better way to add protein to your oatmeal? Stick with whole foods that your body knows how to handle. A tablespoon of Greek yogurt adds creaminess, and about 5 grams of protein, plus probiotics for gut health. A small handful of almonds or chia seeds brings protein, healthy fats and fiber without the synthetic junk. If you're worried about muscle health, pair your oatmeal with a side of scrambled eggs. It's as simple and gives you protein the natural way. These options are easy to find at any grocery store and won't break the bank. A common mistake is thinking you need protein powders to stay strong, or that they're a must-have for healthy aging. The truth is, whole foods provide protein in a balanced form, without the additives that stress your kidneys. Another tip, check the label of any powder you're using. If it lists artificial sweeteners or ingredients you can't pronounce, it's a sign to skip it. If you're used to the taste, try mixing a little yogurt with your powder for a few days to ease the transition. The lesson here is simple. Your body doesn't need overhyped supplements to thrive. After 50, it's about giving your kidneys and liver a break with real, whole foods that support your strength naturally. That way, you are fueling your mornings for energy and vitality, whether you're re-hitting a yoga class like Diane or just enjoying a walk in the park. Have you been adding protein powder to your oatmeal? Drop a number 8 in the comments and let me know what kind you use. I'd love to hear your story. Up next, we're wrapping up with a powerful conclusion and some simple ways to build a better oatmeal bowl that loves your body back. You won't want to miss the perfect recipe to tie it all together. Stay with us. We've reached the final piece of our journey, building a better oatmeal bowl for a healthier you. Over the past 30 minutes, we've uncovered 9 sneaky mistakes that can turn your wholesome oatmeal into a health risk after 50. Brown sugar spiking your blood sugar. Artificial sweeteners stressing your gut-dried fruits, overloading your liver-flavored packets, packing sodium non-dairy creamers, harming your heart store, bought granola, adding hidden sugars, protein powders, straining your kidneys and more. But more than just avoiding these pitfalls, today is about empowering you to make breakfast a true ally for your health, energy and joy. Let me share one last story. Meet Emma, a 72-year-old grandmother from North Carolina. Emma used to start her day with oatmeal loaded with dried fruit, flavored packets, and a scoop of creamer, thinking she was doing her body good. But she felt sluggish, her joints ached, and she struggled to keep up with her grandkids at the park. After watching a video like this, she decided to rethink her oatmeal. She switched to plain rolled oats, topped with fresh blueberries, a spoonful of Greek yogurt, and a pinch of cinnamon. Within weeks, Emma's energy soared, her aches eased, and she was back to chasing her grandkids with a smile. "I didn't realize how much my breakfast was holding me back," she told me. "Now I feel like I'm giving my body a gift every morning." So how do you build that perfect oatmeal bowl? It's simpler than you think. Start with a half cup of plain rolled oats, cheap, easy, and heart healthy. Cook it with water or unsweetened almond milk for a creamy base. Add a handful of fresh berries like blueberries or strawberries for natural sweetness and antioxidants. Toss in a tablespoon of chia seeds or chopped walnuts for crunch and healthy fats. Finish with a sprinkle of cinnamon to stabilize blood sugar and add warmth. This bowl takes just 5 minutes to make and nourishes your body without stress. Want to make it even easier? Try this 7-day plan. Monday, berries and chia seeds. Tuesday, sliced apple and walnuts. Wednesday, banana and Greek yogurt. Thursday, peaches and almonds. Friday, repeat the berries. Saturday, try pumpkin seeds. Sunday, mix it up with whatever's in season. Prep your oats in bulk on Sunday to save time all week. It is a small change that can transform your mornings and help you feel vibrant for the things you love. Whether it's gardening, playing with your grandkids, or just savoring a quiet cup of coffee. The lesson here is powerful. Your breakfast is more than just food. It's a chance to honor your body after 50. You don't need fancy powders or packets. Simple, whole ingredients can fuel your days with energy, clarity, and strength. Every bite is a choice to feel your best. Now it's your turn. Drop a comment below with the number 9 and tell me one mistake you call ditch or a new topping you call try. Your story could inspire someone else. If you found this video helpful, please like, share it with a friend, and subscribe with the bell icon so you don't miss our next tips for thriving after 50. Start building your better oatmeal bowl today. You'll feel the difference in just a week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.